What's good, boy dudes and boy dudettes? And today we have got the 8th film in the X-Men film series, Deadpool, made in the year 2016, well, released in the year 2016. It's the superhero based on the Marvel character comic of the same name and distributed by the 20th Century Fox. It's the 8th installment in the X-Men film series, and it's the very first standalone Deadpool film, directed by Tim Miller from a screenplay by Rhett Reese. Paul Rurik. The film stars Ryan Reynolds as Wade Wilson, Deadpool alongside Monica Barkin, Ed Sheeran, TJ Miller, Gina Carano, and Brianna Hildebrand. Sorry I butchered your name, guys. Lol. Development of the film starring Reynolds began way back in February 2004, before he went on to play the character in Origins of Wolverine in 2009. Reese and Warwick were hired for a spin-off in 2010. They worked with Ryan Reynolds to adapt the character more faithfully, including his fourth breaking, sorry, got a bit of a tongue twister, war jokes, after the portrayal in Wolverine was criticized heavily for not doing so. So Tim Miller was hired in 2011, making his directional debut. An enthusiastic response to leaked test footage of the film he created with Reynolds led to a green light from Fox in 2014. So yeah, without that, it would have not been made, I suppose. And the film was released in the US on February of 2016, the same weekend as Valentine's Day. It's you even see on the poster that Deadpool does a little love heart, indicating that it's a freaking, it's Valentine's Day. Yeah. The film achieved both financial and critical success. It earned over $783 million against a budget of $58 million. Blooming heck. Breaking numerous records, it became the highest grossing R-rated film of all time, the highest grossing X-Men film, and the 9th highest grossing film of 2016. And people praised the film so much, and yeah. But what is Deadpool all about? And why do people love it so much? Well, let's talk about it. Wade Wilson is a former Special Forces operative who now works as a mercenary. His world comes crashing down when evil scientist Ajax tortures, disfigures, and transforms him into Deadpool. The rogue experiment leaves Deadpool with accelerated healing powers and a twisted sense of humor. With help from mutant allies Colossus and Negasonic Teenage Warhead, Deadpool uses his new skills to hunt down the man who nearly destroyed his life. And yeah, let's talk about the good of this film. And as I'm looking at this film, I have to admit, they did a good job at making this film as faithful to the comics. I haven't read the comics, but I've seen little bits of it online, and from the little bits I've seen, it's pretty damn well adapted, It's also, well, I was going to say it's the first comic book film R-rated, but no, there was Kick-Ass, And this film did remind me of Kick-Ass at times, Some of the violent scenes, the way it was edited and handled, it just reminded me of Kick-Ass at times, And I'm still a bit salty that there's not a Kick-Ass 3, I'm still waiting for that film, but who knows, anything could happen. Yeah, I have to admit, the comedic timing, the comedic jokes, even though it was a bit over the top, was actually funny. It was genuinely funny, I chuckled a bit at times, and little references, little pop culture references he makes, and especially the X-Men jokes that he makes. One joke that I loved specifically is whenever he went to the X-Mansion and he's always like, how come I can only see you and Megasonic Teenage Warhead and not the other X-Men guys? And then he winks to the camera saying that, I'm guessing the directors couldn't afford other characters. And I have to admit, that was the most funniest part of the film. Other parts of the film that I did find pretty funny was just a lot. Like the first act of this film, it's freaking literally, taking the piss out of the people who made it, How it said, I don't know who it was, it said starring I forgot who it was. It's starring a hot chick, some douchebag executive producers, a guy who's getting paid too much, and and then it goes to the visual effects and it says these are the real heroes in the opening credits, and I just thought that was just funny and great, just absolutely great jokes, maybe they went a bit too far with the fourth wall breaking jokes, but I was like, they can never go too far, to be honest with you. I love the slow motion scenes, it was really done well. Wade Wilson, Ryan Reynolds, he is Deadpool, and Deadpool is him. Just like how Tony Stark is Iron Man and Iron Man is Tony Stark. He is absolutely funny. This guy really does own the role. I freaking do love him, this guy. Obviously we saw him back in X-Men Origins, and he played the role. He was given what he performed what he was given with the script, and it wasn't that good. This film really does shine on Origins of Wolverine, And after rewatching this film a couple of times, I have to admit, I quite like it, Even though this film is all jokey and all that, it does have serious moments, and when it comes back to reality in the film and it gets serious, I have to admit, I really do like those scenes. I think they're really handled really well, Yeah, one of my favorite scenes is when Deadpool and freaking Vanessa, like when they meet up, and then you see like this kind of what's the word called, a montage of like them getting to know each other and them having sex, and then it cuts to them just like living together. I don't know, that scene was all done so well. I freaking loved that. It was really fun. Monarcha Baccarin. Let's just say Lee Tompkins from Gotham. Yeah, she's Lee Tompkins from Gotham. And first, the moment I saw her, I was like, that's Lee from Gotham. I know her. She's from Gotham. And yeah, she's not your typical, I have to admit, she's probably the best girlfriend in any superhero film. I freaking love Vanessa. She's funny, She's really funny. And she's a great character. One thing I didn't notice about the character was that her hair grows through the film. I didn't realize that. Like, at the beginning her hair is really short, and by the end of the film it's long. I didn't even notice that until I watched it the second time around. I was like, her hair grew. Oh, what did you know? I never even noticed that. Ed Shuriken as Francis Freeman, aka Ajax. He's the guy who created the Deadpool, and he's, I have to admit, he's a pretty nasty douchebag of a villain. I freaking love him as a villain, he has that face you just want to smack, But ironically, he actually looks like a guy, one of my friends from college, and every time I see him, I keep thinking of that guy, from my college. His name is called Tommy, and Tommy, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, but Francis Freeman Ajax looks like you. Sorry, dude. Lol. Anyway, he plays a good villain, I suppose. And yeah, the cast, I have to admit, are all well done. I freaking love Megasonic Warhead, played by Brianna Hildebrand. Yeah, her mutant power detonates atomic bursts from her body, and then you've got the Colossus, and it's a different Colossus from the X-Men trilogy, It's not the Colossus, that teenage Colossus dude. He's more Russian speaking, He's more of a Russian Colossus, and his name is called Stefan Kapik. He does the voice of Colossus, The entire Colossus guy, he is CGI, but he is pretty much the Colossus guy, and he's very different to the X-Men one. Personally, I prefer this version, he's funny, and there's this one scene, he's, as well as him being funny and just this big guy, he's also a sweetheart, because there's this one scene when he's fighting a villain, and it's a female, and her kind of shirt kind of unbuttons and it reveals her chest, and then he's covering his eyes saying, "Oh, your thing is falling out," and then the woman's like, "Oh, you're such a sweetheart." I was like, "Oh yeah, he is." The cinematography is also really nice, you know. I don't know, this movie just has this nice coolness to it. Like, no, I'm not talking about the vibe, I'm talking about the way it looks, you know. It looks kind of dark, you know, like the literal look of the film. Like, it has this kind of like, you know, dark look to it. It's hard to explain, you know. I suppose that's just the cinema effect, you know. Let's talk about the mixed and negative aspects of the film. I do like the soundtrack, but I wish they would have added more better. I like the soundtrack is good. Like, this song played in the background, I freaking loved it, you know. But they could have played other better songs, I suppose. I suppose I was expecting more funnier songs, you know. But that's my prediction. But negatives of the film, it does get a little bit slow at times, I suppose, you know. And I suppose when it does get, to be honest with you, the negatives, I would say the jokes. Some of the jokes don't always land for me, you know. Some of it does, some of it doesn't. And when it doesn't, it left a bit ugh. But for me, I love the serious moments of this film. I freaking thought it was amazing, you know, when it got serious and all gritty. Oh, there is another character who I absolutely loved. It's the old blind woman who is kind of Deadpool's like friend. I don't know who she is, but oh god, who was her name? Oh crap, I totally forgot. But I freaking loved her. I will look for Leslie Uggams. She plays Blind Owl, the elderly blind woman and Deadpool's roommate. I freaking love that character, you know, and I love Deadpool and Blind Owl's, like, you know, banter. It's just so funny, and just the comedic time is all really funny and just great, you know. That's about it for my review. I'm gonna give this film I'll give it a 7 out of 10. I'm going to give it a B. It's not the best film, you know, in the X-Men series, but for what they did, for what they were given in the material, it was pretty good. But I just preferred other movies, to be honest with you. But thanks for watching this review. Please like and share this video and comment down below and tell me, what was your favourite part of the Deadpool film? What's your favourite X-Men movie? But with that said, thank you for watching this video, and Boy Dude signing out.